Hi, it's Coach Tonym Morganem of the Masterful Engineer Programme. And today we're going to be looking at Gasportfolio building or Gasportfolio training. So this can be a basic video on the procedure of Gasportfolio, and it's to help students go through the process. So this particular boiler what we're looking at is a Worcester Green Star 30 SI. So we're going to go through the gas tightness testing, checking the flue, gas rate, working pressure, standing pressure, and the various checks what you have to do in your gas portfolio. Now, one of the first things you've got to do is taking cases off and getting inside appliances. So we're going to just show you quickly how to get inside this particular boiler. So what we're going to do, we're going to look underneath the boiler. Now you've got a screw there in that plastic housing, and the same on the other side. So them two screws are to be just backed out. They don't come right out of that housing, just undo them. So Kev, you can undo the screw. So at the top of the boiler, you've got a screw there and one on the other side, so them two are removed. So Kev, you can remove that now. I'm going to take the case off from the boiler. So you just slide it back and it just comes away like that. Incidentally, we have turned the boiler off on the spare switch, so make sure the boiler's switched off, and then you can carry on your work. So the first thing we're going to do is going to do the tightness test. So we're going to go to the gas meter and do it from there. This is our U gauge, this region Premier. This is like the high end of U gauges. You can get the cheaper ones which have just got water in, but I recommend you get this one because you can see it's clear blue fluid, but they are expensive, but they do the job. Now you need to make sure your gauge is zeroed. You can see this isn't zeroed at the moment, so we're going to adjust it just to get it onto zero. You can do it by adjusting the screw here. If you can't get it bang on, then you might need to add a bit of fluid in. You can now see it's on zero. We poured a little bit in, so it's bang on now. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is put the tube on. The tube goes on the blue part of your gauge like this, on the blue part. We're now at the gas meter. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn the gas off by shutting emergency control. On your gas portfolio, you need to observe that we've got earth bonding, which we have. Make any notes about any defects about the earth bonding. Also, it's labelled. Again, so you make observations for your gas portfolio as your training provider, what he asks. So we're going to, as I said, we're going to turn the gas off and attach the U gauge to the meter. Before you turn the gas off, you need to make sure any other gas appliances are turned off, so you can ask the customer of this information and then you can turn the gas off. We've attached the U gauge to the meter, as you can see. So as part of your gas portfolio and your gas tightness testing, what's the first thing we should do?
Between 7 and 10.
So what do we call that?
Let by.
Let by. So we're going to do a let by test first. So we've already reduced it. Let's increase it a bit too. And just get a bit closer.
10.
And you can see it's 10. So we get our stopwatch out. we've got our paper here and you're making notes on what you're doing. So you record what you're doing, so it's your let by. You do it at 10 millibar for 1 minute to see if it increases. And if it increases, what does that mean? Do you know the answer? If you do, you can drop us a comment. So it's to check that the emergency control valve is not passing. That's why we do the let by. So now what we're going to do, we've increased the gas up to 20. And we're now going to test this for 1 minute. And what do we call this? Do you know the answer? Drop us a comment. Yes, you've got it right. It's your stabilisation. As I said, 1 minute stabilisation. And then after that has passed, we're going to then test it for a further 2 minutes. And what's that for? Again, if you know the answer, we'd like to hear from you. You've got it right, your tightness test. So now that's passed, you need to now make a note on your paperwork here of your readings. So that's your 1 minute stabilisation. You test it at 20. You now test it for a further 2 minutes and see what that is after 2 minutes. And if that's the same at 20, that's what you record on your paperwork. We're now going to turn the gas back on because it's all passed. Right, Kev, turn it back on. And we now got an increase in pressure. So what do you call this then? When it's now not working, everything's just still. What do we call that? If you know the answer, we'd like to hear from you. Yep, you've got it right. It's a standing pressure. So you record the standing pressure again on your paperwork. All this information is what you're going to put on your paperwork from your training provider. Okay, our next step is to do our gas rate and working pressure. So as you can see, it's an electronic meter, and we're going to press this center button here. That gives us our display, which we make a note of that number, and we're going to run our appliance for 2 minutes and then record it again, and you do your calculation, and then that will give you your gas rate. At the same time, we're going to monitor our working pressure at the meter as well. So we're going to turn the appliance on and do the gas rate. I'm now at the appliance. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to use this spanner button. This will put it into high rate. So you hold that in for about 10 seconds, or you just hold it until it changes to orange. Like this. There we go. Put this up to maximum. When the green light comes on, you start your stopwatch. So green light's on, put your stopwatch on for 2 minutes and you time that, and then we'll take the reading after 2 minutes. So we're now in process of doing the gas rate, we're timing it. We're using an app to do this. As I said, you get both readings and you should use your calculations which you've been given from your training provider. At the same time, I'm monitoring my working pressure, and then we'll do the result in 1 moment. So we're now counting down. Press that button, that stops it, the burn's gone off, and then we can now go to the meter and record the reading. So this is our recording after 2 minutes. So you make a note of that on your paperwork, or put it in the app, and then that will be your calculation for your gas rate. Okay, we're now finished with the gas meter. So just go over what we just done. So you've done your let by, you've done your stabilisation, your tightness test, we've done our working pressure from the meter, and we've done our gas rate. We're now going to turn off the gas, take off the U-gauge, attach the test nipple, and we're going to spray some leak detection, as you can see, on the nipple, just make sure it's not leaking. So once that's all done, you now can go over to the appliance. I just want to give you a little tip when you're putting in the screw test nipple into the meter. Get a screwdriver like this and make sure it's in like that. And have it at this angle, point up, so when you go to put it in the meter, you go like that. That motion, always up so it doesn't drop off, and then you can get it in and screw it into the nipple screw. So that's just a little technique for future reference. We're now back at the appliance. The first thing you need to do is take a picture of the data plate. You need this for comparisons like working pressures and burner pressures. So I'll take a picture of the data plate. Once you've done that, we need to attach your U-gauge to the gas valve on the inlet. Now this particular boiler is a condensing boiler. So on this type of boiler, you only can do the working pressure. You can't do the burner pressure. On your checklist from your training provider, you'll be asked various questions, and one of them will be the burner pressure. That's only applicable to the appropriate appliances. So this particular one, you cannot do the burner pressure. And the reason why you can't, it's because it's a premixed burner and it has a zero governor, which is here. So this particular appliance, what it does, it sucks the gas through into the fan. And this particular setup, you cannot do the burner pressure. So moving on, we're going to attach the U-gauge to the inlet of the gas valve. We've now attached the gauge, and this is your standing pressure. Again, you make a note of this standing pressure on your paperwork, and this is transposed through to your main paperwork from your training provider. We're now going to run the appliance in maximum output to see what the working pressure is at the appliance. Again, I'm going to press this button here as before, press it till it goes to orange, and then that'll put it into engineer mode and to maximum output. I've already got it in maximum on the control knob here. The lights come on and you can see the pressure's gone down a bit. So there we are, about 17. So this is what you record, again on your paperwork, the working pressure at the appliance. I'm going to turn it off again, press that orange button again, that cancels that. The next thing we're going to do the gas analysing. This is the test point here. We're going to unscrew that cap, put our gas analyzer probe in, and I'm going to check out the CO2 emissions and the ratio. But before we do that, we're going to now take the U-gauge off, tighten the test nipple, spray a bit of leak detection, make sure it's not coming out of that screw. Be very careful when you spray that because you don't want to get it on any electrical connections. We're now unscrewing the cap, and as I said, we're then going to put the probe in, ready to do the gas analysing. We're now turning the appliance back on, it's fired up. Just a little note, make sure the appliance is on and working before you put the gas analyzer on, because you don't want it sucking in unburnt gas into the analyzer. So we've got the analyzer here. We're now going to turn it on. So let it suck the gases through to the analyzer, and as you can see it's sampling the gases and we come up with a reading. So on your reading or recording on your paperwork, the only thing you need to record is the ratio, which you can see there, 0.0007. It's like 007, James Bond. So you record that. You can also take a picture if you want of these other readings for your own records. You can also, if we're going to turn it over to the oxygen, flip it to this, you can see the oxygen intake, you can see the flue gases, 75, 76, so it's the flue gases as well. So that's that part of it done, and we'll move on to the next. Just put the cap back on. Now we're going to take a look at the flue from the outside. This is part of your gas portfolio. The question you ask is about the flue, so we're going to check the flue outside. We're outside now, and we're now inspecting the flue. As you can see, it's looking okay. You can also make a note of the condense, make sure that's okay, which that's fine. Go into a drain, and also make a note of the PRV, the pipe that's going back to the wall. So that's the main things done of your gas portfolio. We just put the case back on, and that's coming to the end of this video. So if you like what you've seen, you can give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want any more further information about boilers, repairs, fault codes, views, anything like that, you can look at our website, masterfulengineer.co.uk. It's ideal for new people coming into the industry if you need technical information all in one place. So that's masterfulengineer.co.uk. You can click on the link below this video and it'll take you straight there. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you on the next video.